Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at Fiendish. This is a crowd-funded comic. It's still available now, so I'm not going to showcase the entire comic because I'm not a pirate website. I'm just gonna, show a couple of pages, hopefully spark your interest. Spoiler alerts: I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I got issue 1. I didn't read it until I got issue 2. And now I cannot wait for the next issue to come out. I could talk about it. Let's not bury the lead. Let's open it up and check it out. So here we have, and I'm trying not to bend the spine because I'm a crazy person. So the cover, the story, and the art is by Irene, and forgive me, Strachalski. And the interior colors are by Carlos Nikos Zamudio, and shading assists are by Duncan Burris, with special thanks to AC Zamudio. Okay, so it's a small team. It's a small team, and they're making such a quality comic. Shading assists. I wonder, is that like inking? I don't particularly know what that is. I've never seen that particular credit before, but whatever works, man. Whatever works. So this is the opening page. And it just starts in media res, meaning the story is already starting, and we have the death, and you can tell by the commonality features that this is a family member death. And look at this town. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels in, and I was hooked. This panel right here sold me on the comic. Look at the art. Look at that detail and that coloring. I'm not an artist. I'm barely a writer, and I look at that art, and that flame looks animated. Holy moly. I really, this right here, I was a fan by the 5th panel. And then we got the titles over here, like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Ta-da! Fiendish. Chapter 1, Demons. And look at this. It's funny because I keep, if you watch my channel for a long time, you notice that for a long time, comic books to me were superheroes, and I avoided sword and sorcery. I avoided fantasy and sci-fi in my comic books, with few exceptions. For the past 10 years, I've been a Lord of the Rings Tolkien freak, and I still love my superheroes, but I've been getting into westerns. I'm still not crazy about science fiction as much as I used to be as a kid, but I love fantasy. So I was biased towards this from the beginning. But look at this artwork. I feel like I'm trudging through Middle Earth right over here. Look at these, just great details. Again, I don't know what shading assist is. I assume it's like help with the inking, but and the light works. It's so good. And what's going on? Well, as of right now, they're just walking through the woods. This is Casimir, and I can't remember his name, but you'll see it in the back page when I show that. And what are they doing? They're just looking, exploring, and seeing what's going on. Somebody was killed, and they're trying to recover the dead body, and look at that. So they find the dead body, and look at this hole in the chin and the face of recognition. So this is the same thing that killed his family on the first page. And I'm going fast because I don't want to give away this comic. I don't feel it's right. I'm not a pirate website. They're taking the body back, and he's explaining to him, this is the same thing that killed my family, and I'm going after it, and you don't have to come. And this boy, I'm a sucker for a good guy. I like to cheer for somebody. If in a story, that's why I don't want to watch The Boys. There's, I guess you can cheer for Wee Yui, but I don't know. I like to root for a good guy. So he's a good guy, but he comes off as hard, but you understand he's been dealt bad cards. This kid, everybody hates him. At this point, you don't know why. And he's so good that you're like, why? Why? But it all will be revealed. So he's like, I'm sticking with you. You're the only person who's nice to me, and we're going to continue on. And again, I'm trying not to break the spine of this. Look at this city. This is Allstat, the village, town, principality, whatever. I like this architecture. It's a wonderful blend of like Vikings and it's almost like Vikings and American Indian. It's very unique, and that's one of the things I got to say about this world. I'll talk a few more pages, and then I'll close the book. But look at that. Just look. And yes, this is floating glyphs, and Irene created her own language that you could translate in the back. So those are like little added perks. And of course, I'm a crazy person, so I go and try to read all the glyphs. But look at that. That is just awesome. I can rant and rave. But there's just one more panel I want to show. And I'm going to flip through I just wanted to show that. Look at this monster. Look at that monster. It just tears this guy apart. And then sucks him dry. Just, if that doesn't pique your interest, then I don't know what to tell you. So, and then I'm just going to go to the back and just check this out. This is the Nanursa, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, the Nanursa alphabet, so she's making up her own alphabet, and it's not just a literal translation of letters, it's sounds. I like that. That, to me, is more realistic. Lithographs, you know, as they're walking through the trees, they're finding marks on the trees, and he's teaching his young apprentice to read them. And I like that, because that is a classic way of telling me what's going on. You have a young, inexperienced character, so that the experienced character could teach the reader through the apprentice character. It's just such a great trope. And then, you know, there's another language, so they're speaking in another language, and here's translations of it. Here's a map of the world. You know, it's just so real. And this is not what this is what I wanted to show. This character I didn't show yet. This is Yomi. I wanted to see this Iskil. I forgot his name. I'm terrible with names. And Casimir. These are the main characters. And again, this blonde over here, Casimir, he's seeking revenge. His family was killed. Iskil is going with him because he's loyal to Casimir, because everybody shuns him. And at this point, you don't know why. I don't want to spoil it. And he's just so hopeful and nice that you can't help but root for him. And then Yomi, this, it's dark, but man, it's just so interesting. So this race, I think they're called Daves. They're slaves, and they're sexually dimorphic. So the men are big and hairy and strong, and they're used for like brutal labor, like mining and forestry and stone cutting and things. And then the women, well, what do you think the women are used for? Fortunately, Yomi wasn't treated like that. Her masters treated her very nice, so she was very loyal to him. So she's an anomaly. And then when they got killed by the monster, she was fearful that she was going to be used as a bed slave, and she kind of begged Casimir to take her with her. And they have a similar quest now, because they both want revenge against these demons that killed their family. So he doesn't want to take her on. It's the classic, you know, gruff exterior, soft interior. I just that trope just kills me. It just gets me. And there you go. That's the main characters. I'm not going to spoil anymore, because man, you should read this. Now, it's a fully realized world. I read 2 issues, and I know that Irene has made up a world. She did her world building, but more importantly than that, she made characters that I like. I'm trying to write my own stuff, and I concentrated on world building, and I neglected the characters until I talked to a few people, and they were like, "You gotta build characters." You know, so I appreciate what she did here. She has a great world that she obviously put a lot of thought into, but she has great characters that I already care about. I want them to succeed. Maybe I don't know. This surprises, but I don't want to ruin anything. Again, I want you to read this. This is excellent. The art is outstanding. The writing is good. It's not for kids, that there's some dirty words, there's violence and gore, but you know what, I would let teenagers read it, but then again, I'm a weirdo that way. But I like it. I like it a lot. I would say that this is like fantasy, but it's not just elves, dwarves, hobbits. Irene made up her own races and own politics between the races. It really, really works. The only thing that I can compare it to is ElfQuest, and that's not a slam, because I love ElfQuest. I thought ElfQuest was a great comic, and what's sad is that in a healthy comic book industry, this would be celebrated. This would be Eisner Award winning. People would be talking about this. This is outstanding, and the comic book industry is whatever, the mainstream comic book industry. Us independent people, we're raving about this, and I want more. So again, there's issue 1, there's issue 2, and then there's issue 2.5, and I'm not sure, but I think 2.5 is going to deal with like the past, some what happened, maybe him as a child. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to read spoilers. That's how much I like it. If I like something, I don't want to read spoilers. So I don't know. I could gush and rant and rave and just repeat myself, but just go to Fiendish.com. There you go. Visit Fiendish.com for more information. Highly recommended. You know, I can only rant and rave about this so much. All right, I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.